And replacement of some catch basins also? Right,
That's what I had put in for,
right.
catch basin.
And OEPA Phase 2 stormwater mapping, that's the EPA compliance stuff?
That should
We
be
told him it was
separate,
a grant we asked.
35,000.
Right. And the Phase 2 stormwater mapping, maintenance, I guess you'd call it, the $5,000.
All of that is mandated.
Okay, yes, right. And those are in the budget as part of this structure. That's what I'm telling you.
So what they are saying is they wanna take out of that 140, almost $100,000.
No, they're not taking it, you're gonna be using it. Because you're doing the crossovers, right? You're doing all
Yes,
the
I do the
culverts.
crossovers, but
And
actually.
you're doing
I
the
do
culverts, you're doing the other work having to do with the catch basins, correct?
We do all the catch
Yeah.
basin, sidewalk, anything that involves
Right.
streets.
So they're just listing it in the stormwater projects, that's what they said. They don't have a separate thing they're doing apart from you.
See, they,
Well, Jim, maybe we need to talk to them to make sure.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do, because they're not, it's.
That's what they said the last time, let's put it that way.
Haven't you sat down with them at all and gone over the stormwater stuff? I thought you guys had.
No, things were done without me present.
Okay, so.
Okay, so just verify with them,
Yeah,
because right now it's accommodated.
it might-
Because
okay,
$140,000 would involve quite a few projects that I put down and I typed on that one sheet that I had sent to you.
Right.
And then now I have other things coming up, like Mr. Miller's house.
Well,
We have,
Cares about Miller.
yeah.
Oh, mine?
gotta
We
do a lot of-
understand, but those haven't been priced or anything at this point, right?
Oh, I have a very good idea what it's gonna cost. I've had the film before and we've had.
We had a problem with sinkholes developing and over on Oakview
Atterbury.
and at Atterbury, we know that.
Atterbury, you're probably looking at about a couple hundred feet, cost you close to $7,000 to reseal that pipe.
Okay.
Could
Why-
you,
why don't
could you
you-
give an estimate of the emergency,
This is what I've done.
because you can't project them.
I have
But what's your
8,
estimate?
it's gonna get me prices for each address. For each address, how much it's gonna cost to film it. And then if we find that there is a problem, then I call AAA Flexible Pipe, and they'll come out, and if it's 200 feet, they'll give me a price, how much it is per foot. Then I can give you an actual dollar amount.
But I'm looking at, you don't know where they're gonna pop up. How
No.
much do we put, it's a guesstimate, as a reserve for the year 2015? Not what I know I have to fix today, that I can get a price
See,
on.
but this is the problem. We don't know when they're gonna pop up. They
Right.
could pop, like these 3 I found this week, we found this week, because
But
one of
that's
my
what I'm
men
saying,
fell.
is there a way to say, what if I had 10 next year, and at an average they are X, I
Well,
put this aside to balance.
This is why I wanna get the filming, I can give you an idea per
Okay.
foot, what it costs to film it. My men do the dye testing, we'll film it.
Jim,
Yes.
here's what I'm going to suggest to you. First, get with engineering and make sure that everybody's on the same page on this 140.
Yes,
And
Definitely.
then, as far as these developing problems, why don't you look at the history of these sinkholes and all this and come up with, as you said, you're pricing certain things that you know have to go into doing the assessment. Come up with a projection of how many of these is likely to see as a starting point. And we've had maybe 1 or 2 a year over X time. Just give us a number and we'll try to integrate it into the budget so you have a beginning point to work with. Okay?
okay.
All right. Now, we also have, now we do have this, it isn't yours, so we don't need to worry about that. Let's see, the Memorial Park Cannon is here, and the rehab issues are there for 12,000, which you asked for. And in 401-401-5634, the street striping is showing at 60 at this time. And that's what you also.
Yeah, we did have the city, we got like 55,000, I figured
Yeah, I
what's
know.
remaining, we should be able to get it.
You should
done.
be able to get it for
Yes.
60 then. Okay, so you got
It's there for
ceiling,
us.
you got,
Right.
you got a whole series of things
Mhm.
for your plans.
One question that's at the park, which involves the rec center, is the score tower. The refrigerator and the ice machine.
Okay,
We have to get that, because otherwise the score tower can't operate.
Why do we need a refrigerator
Uh,
to operate the
it-
score towers?
It just, they're done, they're shot.
There's
They,
a
they
an
broke,
actual
they
snack
broke
bar.
totally down, we went to
Concession
fix them and we
stand.
can't.
Well, I understand, but he's saying you need it to operate the score tower. What's-
Well,
what's the- what's-
during the baseball season, Angela, there's a company that comes in, or a group that's with the NHAA.
Right.
And they run the score tower, and they need the refrigeration, the ice machine, and so on. I don't know.
Is it in the concession stand?
It's in the concession stand.
Okay.
The concession stand that's in the score.
Score
tower,
tower.
It's not
Yes.
upstairs.
No, no,
Right,
it's in the
Okay.
concessions.
well, all right, honestly,
why do we need to supply that?
I'm not sure that's number one that we do, but number two, if we are going to do it, we'll have an opportunity to, you know, if they're not gonna be using the score tower in the dead of winter for baseball.
No, you have all
Yeah.
season, you know. you
Right,
have
so we can make an
4 or 5
adjustment
months.
Yeah.
that
Because I think that
would
has
be
to
in
be
the spring,
fixed.
after collections are coming in to see
We have to
whether
keep
we,
that up.
we wanna do that. I don't think
Here's
this
the
is a high
problem.
Yeah, we
priority.
have to
We
keep
say
it.
we're gonna do it, and then we don't,
Yeah.
and then the season starts,
Right.
Well,
and we
Yeah.
never buy it.
I wanna make sure the score thing's working and concession.
So prior
and
to
but
baseball
it is working, it's not the score tower, it's the refrigerator there.
Yeah, refrigeration.
And how much was it?
It comes to 4,800, 2,750 for the new refrigerator, and it was 13 and 1,400 for the ice
But
machine.
why are we
Yeah.
supplying a refrigerator
They
that we
said-
don't use?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a legitimate question.
Well, they rent that field out, right, Jan? They rent it out
I,
and then
yeah,
they,
it's
they sell stuff out.
it's
of
been
it.
in there and they.
I understand they sell stuff there, but it's not, we're not selling stuff there. They wanna sell stuff there. I don't know if we have a legitimate, if we have a requirement to provide a refrigerator. I'm just saying that.
I'm actually not persuaded of that either, Dave, and I think that if we say we're going to do it, here's what you wanna do.
Yes,
Put it in a tickler file, and we will look at this in, March of next year.
It'll never happen.
And if you want to have that adjustment, come back and
What,
tell us.
Jan, what do
It'll
you,
never happen. I'll find out from Angela tomorrow. We
no,
created
my
the
question is,
concession
do you
Yeah,
think,
when
do you
we-
think the city should be supplying a refrigerator there?
Yeah, because we rent it to them, and that's part of the amenity.
Mhm.
It's kind of like
All
the
right.
concession stand at the high school football field.
Yeah.
But we're not paying for
The
that.
high school, but it's just, you're missing the whole point.
No, I know.
It went right over your head.
Mhm.
No,
It's the
I
same
understand.
philosophy that the school provides all the equipment,
How much
but
do
they
we rent?
don't run it.
How much do we rent?
I'll find out.
yeah, we'll have to ask Angela.
Yeah,
So
she'll know.
she takes care of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we'll find out what the payback period is for.
And it's the
I
NHAA.
understand, but if it's a legitimate rent, that's one thing. But
Yeah,
it's-
well,
it's fine.
depends.
5,000, guys, we're over here nitpicking $5
Um,
grand for an amenity that we've supplied, that we built. We
Okay,
did it before when we
It's
rented
not a high
it, when we
priority.
created
Well,
the
then
snack
it's
shack
fine.
that
And
was
you
built
get the
by my
money
husband and a
back
prisoner.
from renting the
Okay.
field and
Really?
renting the
We have a
concession
majority that
stand.
said we should put it,
well,
let's
it's
put
2
it
to
in.
2 at this point.
Yeah, you get
So-
that money
I
back.
understand, but we don't know because we have to hear from.
It's lasted how
Right.
long?
I agree.
Jim, how long has that thing been in there? It's
Okay.
the original one
Yeah,
or?
well, if there's not gonna be a war of the worlds over the
So-
5K,
It's
right?
been in
But-
here a long time.
Okay, so we'll move on.
Arguing for discussion.
Yeah,
They
That's
put it
right.
in originally, might as well
And
keep
then,
it up.
well, maybe,
All right.
or ask them to do it.
One last
They
request
rent it.
Yes, go ahead.
is the
They-
security
That's up to
system.
Angela.
Yes,
that
the
rent.
20,000 on the security.
Okay, that would be all new cameras and all new door swipes and entrances to City Hall and the police department.
Okay, would you?
And it upgrades from a Windows 98 to a more modern computer system,
Okay,
updated. I mean, ours is Windows 98 right now. It
okay.
should be updated. This, to get the actual, to do everything, to get all the bells and whistles, you were looking at over 50,000.
Right.
But we figured for 20,000, we can get the initial stuff we need, and then as time goes on, if you want to add, you can add to this system.
Is our current system defective or deficient?
We have a lot of problems, yes.
Such as?
Well, we have a lot of entrance problems with the police department. We've had jail cell problems, where the jail cells are supposed to open automatically, they don't. Or, you know, they have to go in there and they have to physically do things.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
The police department's been having a rough way to go. And then one of the things that we could save money, right now with Simplex, we have to pay them just under $10,000 a year for their contract. And then when they do work for us, they charge us $1,500, $1,300, and everything's always
Yes.
our fault, not theirs.
Yeah, in other words, they're not concerned as part of normal maintenance?
Right. So what we could do immediately with this system,
Uh-huh.
we eliminate that almost $10,000 a year just for a
So
contract.
we don't have Simplex.
We don't pay, no, we don't pay that $10,000. This company will come in and they'll fix it when we need to have it fixed.
As part of the contract for maintenance?
Right.
Okay, so
We have it
we're
in
gonna spend
writing.
20, but we're automatically, at the same time we're spending 20, we're saving
right.
10.
This year, I'm not gonna pay out $9,980 some dollars.
Well, that's very persuasive, we
Yeah,
should
okay.
buy the system.
Yeah, if the
Yeah.
refrigerator paid half that much, I'd be buying it too.
Yeah, we'd buy
So-
beer for everybody if it
It's,
did,
it's a
right?
good system and it's a way to start, anyway.
Okay,
if we
so,
can have
I'll tell you what,
I'd like to see a copy of the contract first.
yeah.
I'm not,
There-
I don't take anything.
You don't buy this?
No, I wanna
Okay.
see that contract.
So-
Well, the
Let's-
contract that we have would be to put the system in. They don't have a contract where we're gonna pay them
Okay.
$10,000
That's the
a year.
problem right there.
No,
You
they
did
come
it,
in,
and all these things happen.
we're only gonna call them when we need to fix something.
Well, obviously, you don't know if it's gonna break until it gets in here.
Well, there's a gift
It's like a
warranty.
car, it's like
Okay,
a
No, but
plane.
there's,
All right,
Yeah.
I'm persuaded, do we have a majority favoring getting a new
And how-
security system? Yes?
The Parks Board was all in favor for it because of, first of all, it's a
Sure.
public building.
Okay,
We have responsibility. By the way, it's a flat rental fee for the concession stand, believes it brings in about $500 a month. That's
$500.
only for the concession stand.
okay, okay. So, we're
For what,
talking.
5 or 6 months.
Yeah, right. Well, let's go back to, are we all in favor of a new security system that
Sure.
will cost us less, eventually?
We get to see the contract first?
Yeah, yes, you can see it if you want to. I think it makes sense, just what he said,
We
right?
spend $500 a month on the,
On the refrigerator, is that what?
I'd say do it.
Okay, we have a majority that says do it, then, on the refrig.
I say do that refridge.
Okay, well, we have a majority now. We are persuaded by this incredible rent that we're getting.
Just don't bite Jen Air.
Just
I can tell you some.
Okay, Jim,
hey,
are we good here?
we're good to go. The sign shop with that printer,
We already
if you wanna
did. We
consider
just asked
that,
them.
it's something that we could do, but we can get a lot of money back.
We did, you were listening to your thing.
That's-
We just
so
talked
that's
about it.
something we can look at.
Sorry, what are we talking about? There's multiple conversations.
All right, let's go on, folks.
We did.
Here's, let me summarize what we just said. We are going to buy the refrigerator for the score tower.
And ice machine.
And we are going to get the security system because it will have payback very shortly.
What'd you say about the sign shop?
The
The
sign
sign
shop,
shop.
we can look at next year.
We put in a new computer system.
This year?
Yes, we did, we had to, his was blown.
Well, signs have to be updated now too.
So
The
the
law says
printer
it's gotta
needs
Yeah,
to
they
be-
are updating
needs to
signs.
update for the new computer. It still works, but it doesn't work as efficient as it would with the more updated printer. So that's why we're looking at, but we found that, we went on .gov, the system we have now sells for anywhere from 8 to 10,000. That we could sell our system, and we could buy the new one for
Yeah,
15.
we'll see.
So that's something you can
Yeah, we
consider
can
too.
consider it.
So the actual
Put it
cost
on
for
the
us
app.
might only be
All right.
5,000 or 8,000,
You'd have to put it out on the bid,
Yeah.
the state bid page?
No, it goes on
The
.gov.
Auction page?
It's .gov, yeah.
Right.
And we could sell, we sell our trucks on there, we sell
So
our
instead of paying 15
Oh.
grand, we would actually have almost half of the money.
come back. So it's something that I'm gonna have him look a little more into the .gov.
So I thought us to look at that next year. Is that your thought?
What could happen too is if I see that he's having problems with the old one,
planted?
working with the new computer, then I just might approach
Okay,
council with it.
So it's
alrighty.
the printer based on the software is upgraded, but the printer didn't get upgraded along
Right.
with it.
Right.
Okay.
New graphic printer,
Okay. All right,
okay?
we're gonna move on here.
runway is.
See you, Jim.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Where are we at? We're at. Okay, in terms of building and engineering, the question that came up, actually their request, which was on the page that they gave us, was for $100,000 to start a process of scanning, back scanning documents that they have for commercial properties, which they have to retain, for zoning, certain zoning items, and there's some topographical thing for the homes that have to be done. So, rather than,
What line item was that, Sylvia, do you know right now? I don't see it in here.
actually, we don't have 100,000 for that. What the question was is, they were gonna get back to us on the potential for doing a 5-year plan for this, so that we didn't put 100,000 into one chunk. We're 20,000 a year over 5 years. And I haven't received anything back on that yet, so there's nothing persuasive yet that this is, I do believe we should do this. I don't believe we should put 100,000 in this year, because we have a lot of roadway things we need to do. And I think that is the wrong priority. But if we wanna start the process and do it over a period of time, I'm favoring that. Do you have an opinion at this point on that issue?
I tend to agree with you, but I guess, Don, have you talked to Mike about this?
Yeah, they're checking into 20 grand a year, and I think that's a smart thing to do,
Okay.
but we
Well,
don't have an answer yet.
You don't have an answer?
But I think what you're telling me is the administration at this point is saying, yeah, let's put away 20,000 and start the process.
Yes.
But not do
Not
100.
my heart.
We don't-
We can do that if the company goes along with it.
Well, if we
But
can
we
get somebody
have
to do it.
so much paperwork, and I think it's getting worse and worse all the time because of all that's required in any transaction with the building.
The idea would be to try and have this company sign an agreement that says for 5 years, we're only gonna pay you 20 grand and you'll do this.
Yeah,
That's
well,
our hope.
right. It would make sense that they would want to, because there's a lot of work involved here. On the roadway request, which they have a significant number of them,
So we're just gonna we need to hold that.
we need to hold that.
I think we
All right.
So we get the
probably need to
answer.
hold building and engineering with Mike back with Nick, so we can talk the whole thing. You know, because it's between the roadway and the
Well-
storm, but they've got the most expensive.
Yes,
They also have the most pressing, but they have the most expensive, that, you know.
Well, we already
should
have,
one here.
we've covered 115 and 160, and it's in carryover for those 2 roads that we were going to do. Now we've been told that those roads may not be that expensive due to the coring sampling. So we just need a firm answer on the coring. Now, I made the notation here that we should try to adjust this year, because we wanted to add money into the budget this year to do the core sampling they asked for, which was gonna be X amount of money, at around 15,000. And we looked at a pavement management system for about 18,000. I haven't gotten a firm answer back out of them. If we get that, I believe we should do the core sampling this year and get as many roads as we can taken
I
care of.
thought we all agreed to
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, those 2 areas, we wanna put it in the budget this year to get the pavement management and the coring done.
Then
And,
you have a direction,
right,
getting direction which streets are most prioritized.
right, and the streets priority that we have here, is maybe revised by this pavement management process.
Yes.
And so, we need to get a firm answer on how the timing of things.
I have a question on the pavement management system.
Yes,
That is, when you hear management, that makes me think this is a yearly expense. So is this just a one-time expense, or is this gonna be $18,000 every year?
no, it's not gonna be 18 every year, but you're gonna have to do it on some kind of regular basis, but not annually. You have to get it
Maybe every 5 years.
every
or
5
what?
or something.
I think it's a good place to start, I just trying to figure out if we're gonna be either way.
No. So if we can, we will get that adjusted in terms of adding those two items to the current budget. And then you can come back with a more definitive answer on the cost for these roads that we're planning to do. And each one that we have may be in fact better if we, less costly if we can pour it properly and it looks good. Now, let's see.
Looks like you skipped the water retention basin up at the church.
Yeah, well, that is, there's a couple of areas there that we need to talk about. We have done all the stormwater, we haven't discussed the retention basin. We have a considerable possibility, according to Mike Ladd, last time I talked to him, that instead of owing the $470,000 for phase 3 of Route 82, they did put in for a grant that will cut that cost in half, which will bring in, basically, our part of it will be $235,000 instead of $470,000. If we are able to do that, I can see that will, the next thing we're gonna do is be able to pay for Guadalupe right out of that process.
I'd like to see it in the budget, regardless of where, we have enough for the carryover. That thing has been years in the making, and it was due to Guadalupe saying they were gonna build a school. That's what, didn't go that route with putting in retention basement, and they dropped the pipe underneath and out and down.
Okay. Well, we'll know exactly what we have to do, because they say that we're gonna get an answer on the grant, very shortly. So we will know whether.
December 6th.
Pardon me?
December 6th is the meeting,
The meeting that announces the grant, right?
and I'm on that board.
And when do we think we'd have an answer though? That's the meeting, that
The
doesn't mean a
7th.
decision.
Well, yeah, we gotta make a decision how to spend the money.
So you're saying that the decision's gonna be made on the 6th and then
I'm
announced
talking about the
immediately?
rewarding of the grant.
Yeah, that's what you just said.
And
If the
December
grant-
6th, they'll tell you have the money or not have.
Money, the total amount will be allocated, we will be fighting to see where it's spent and how it's spent, all right? So, Macedonia has not had a project yet.
So when will we know if we get the
December
grant?
7th, it says.
You're saying we'll know December 7th, right?
By the time that meeting's over, unless they call another meeting because of a stalemate, you know, you have to vote.
Right, I understand.
And the idea would be to try and talk them into doing our project.
Okay.
Okay. And we have not had a project yet. That's what Mike was saying, that we should be high on the priority list. So,
But I still would like to see us find a way to put some money in here.
I understand.
That this is, you know, we have enough of a carryover that we should be able to do this one. And the 230, I'll talk to Mike if no one knows, does that include buying the land? Or are we taking it by eminent domain, or how are we doing that from Guadalupe? Did we buy
Well,
from Ledgeview when we put that one in?
I don't remember Ledgeview, that's before my time, but as far as the dealings with Guadalupe, I was trying to make a change, an exchange. We would, do their driveway work and culverting, and they would allow us to have the land.
Okay.
Well, it never worked out, and they went ahead and fixed the the driveway and the culverting, so I guess we'd have to reapproach him about the cost of the land, cause I was trying to trade.
Okay.
And
Well,
where, and how much, it's gonna be based on footage and how big and,
The land is useless, I mean, there's
well, no,
nothing
they
you
were gonna
can,
build a school on it, that's why they.
no, down below,
It
it's in
is
the
useless,
woods.
and actually, the houses below are flooded,
Yeah,
and all the way down to
but
Crow.
that's where the basin will go, it'll go more in the woods, towards the woods then.
On Guadalupe land, or?
I'm not sure how far back it goes
We need
because
to
I'm
talk
not.
because everyone on the street bought to the Guadalupe property. So depending on where you're putting it, it could be private
Well-
land, or it could be, I'm not sure how far theirs goes down and another resident moves up.
how deep the lot goes will determine where the basin goes. And it
Okay.
might be where there's woods.
Well, we need to know how much money that's gonna
Well-
cost, because I really don't wanna see this one fall off the table for
I
next
think
year.
you're talking total, they wouldn't give you the
Purchase
cost.
and installation.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think they'd give you just the cost of,
My understanding
Digging in.
was they were also including any remuneration that was required for the church there. In my mind, the church should be donating that land because they caused a hazard by having all that water go down that hill anyway. And they've
That's-
damaged a lot of property because of it. Now admittedly, we shouldn't have allowed that without a detention basin, but they benefited from something that we did incorrectly, I would say. So, I don't know that they should be hard over about this kind of thing. The land they were talking about is not really usable anyway.
what is it, Father Trask, is that the name?
Yes,
He's tough to deal with,
okay, well,
believe me.
I think
I
you should go
tried.
talk to him, so, yeah.
Yeah, I need to talk to Mike, cause I don't know how you're gonna put a retention basin in on a hill. It goes this way, once it gets off that pipe.
well,
That's gonna be interesting, cause you're retention.
Dave, you should.
Well,
be
we
the
got
one to find
field
us.
there, and we got,
That wasn't you.
Get conflict.
where it's at, the thing would be, what would you use that land for, and they'll get money from us anyway.
You,
Dave,
okay,
I gotta
I
talk
see
to
you
Mike
there.
more about it. I
they
wanna-
took,
I
they
wanna
took
make
the
sure
book
we don't
away,
lose
the
sight of
kids
this
don't
one.
cheat.
we're not
It cracks
losing,
me
this
up.
was, this is
The
a
cheating
top
inside
priority
church.
project. It's a question of, with other things that we have to do for roadways, since we have so many unknowns with those at this point, I think we need to just look at if we can use that money we're gonna save with that, phase three.
Sylvia,
then I
why don't
think
we go
that's-
talk to Father Trust?
Well-
We'll go talk to him
We certainly can do that,
and see what he
but
says.
what I'd like to do though is,
I wouldn't interfere just yet.
Right.
I would wait until we're ready to make a move. And then if we have to persuade him,
okay,
we'll have you do it, we'll have
All
you
right.
try
turn
it.
the bulldog loose.
yeah, we'll turn the bulldogs, the hounds of the Baskervilles on them, right?
Yeah, instead of going in there, if we would look like we're intimidating, we wanted it to be a friendly,
You can't intimidate that man, let me tell you.
yeah.
Okay, I wanna move on then to Parks and Rec. Generally, we did upgrade all of the areas that she asked for. And the dedicated,
It was all across, it was the different various full-time, part-time salaries.
yeah, we did it across
What
those.
did you upgrade them to?
Well, we did the same thing to them, the 2% raises, the benefits changes, all of those were done.
You're talking about the rec
Part-time
center?
Yes.
salaries didn't go up. Did it? No,
How much?
it stayed the same. The
The one
salaries
salary.
are still showing the same. 2014 says 43.2, 2015 says 43.2.
They already had, I know that the upgrade took place, let me get this up to.
Well, they're not in the document. There's no, if
Hold
you
on a
look down
second.
hers, they all match to 2014.
Hold on.
I don't have rec.
The line items are on.
You've got my paper.
Yeah.
Now, we're in, yes, there it, look at 205, 207 salaries and wages.
204, 204, 51.
No, it's 205, 207, 5110, went up from 194 to 206, 170, we have
Wait a minute,
205.
one of 205, 207, 5110.
Yeah, we got
I have
all-
194.50, and the new budget's 194.50.
No, the new budget is 206.
Then I don't have the new budget.
Well, it's.
This is the
it's-
one we discussed 2 weeks ago.
I
It
know.
was in the book.
The one that I sent out to you does have it in there,
When did you send another one out?
Tuesday night.
That's the one that I printed.
1028.
Here's-
She gave you a copy that was made today.
Yeah.
Why don't you
No,
work on
that
a
was
copy?
this,
No,
Oh,
It
it's
says
there.
No, it's not.
1028.
give me the budget that
revised.
you passed out to me, because
It's
This is
on
what I
there.
that's
sent
not
out.
what I got in the
Okay.
mail.
205, it's 205, 207 numbers were all upgraded based on the comments. You can see they're upgraded.
Oh, do we,
Okay.
You went in the system and upgraded these?
That's what I sent out, late Tuesday night. This is the version. I
No,
haven't
I'm
changed
saying
it,
you
'cause I
went in
just
and
copied.
upgraded the systems.
It
out
says
of the
10/28/2014,
system. I
that's
know.
it.
You went in the computer and upgraded the finance system? Because that's where this document comes from, right? From our financial systems?
No, I didn't take it from the, it always comes off the spreadsheets.
I know.
Yeah.
The spreadsheet of the financial system. Or did you create your own special spreadsheet?
No, I just used the one we have been using. Okay, so let's,
Did you update it just in your computer, or is it updated upstairs? I'm just trying to understand.
well, we don't update it upstairs until we get to a final budget.
So
Okay?
this is your own personal
Well,
spreadsheet?
no, it's not my personal, I took what we had and I've updated it. Okay,
She updated it, Jan, from all the notes that we had with the department heads
That's right.
and the mayor.
that's right.
She
We
put
had-
all their
We were
adjustments
working
in it.
from a spreadsheet, yes.
Yeah, I was just trying to see where this
Yeah.
document came from, because usually this document's, the finance director creates and presents.
Right.
And that's what it's from.
Right, and then this is updated, so.
Well, because we had the department heads and
Did
they.
you load this
and-
in your computer then and update it?
Yeah, I updated it, sure,
In your computer?
of course.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, you loaded this by hand
I
in
didn't
your
look at the
computer and then
front of it.
updated it.
You know, we had a spreadsheet, we've updated it.
Who's
That's all.
we?
Scott and I worked on it, I talked to him at length on it.
When did you talk to Scott?
I've talked to him practically every day for the last week after we had a
He's on
revenue.
administrative leave. and
That
under
doesn't
direction
matter
he's-
here, we're
It
working
does
with-
matter, that's violating the directive of the mayor.
I'm sorry, this is the council, he's working for
He
us.
does not work for us.
He does.
works for- He does not.
He works
true.
for us
Read
on
the
the
charter,
budget.
he works.
Work-
no,
read-
no,
Works for council.
You're telling me all these dollars Scott did?
No,
She
I'm
said she
telling you,
did.
I discussed it with him. That's all.
You just violated.
I didn't
the directive of
violate
the mayor.
anything. He
Yes, you
works
did.
for
What
us.
does the mayor's directive state?
I don't care
Scott
what it
has no-
states, we're working on the budget. We have a right to work on the budget, and we are gonna.
Not
work.
with the guy who's on administrative
Yes, we
leave.
do. He
No,
can't
we
tell-
do not. He was told he had no access.
The mayor
and-
told him he did not have access to the computers here.
And he was not to deal with any city business.
Well,
Read the email.
I'm
Pat.
sorry that we.
You just
we-
violated the
I
directive
did
of the mayor of
violated
the city.
nothing. No.
Yes, you did, ma'am.
Okay.
And you're
That was
lying
your
when you say
fuss. If you
that.
wanna continue like that, that's
I
fine,
don't
but,
know, no.
okay, moving along.
You're well down too.
Shut up.
Let's move on here because we're not going to, all right, we're gonna talk about the legal department. Mr. Gaddetti offered some more information at this point.
There was an email sent out, but I printed out copies. There's 2 pages.
Okay,
So let me give you each 2
this
pages.
didn't arrive until very
I'm gonna
late
put all this
today.
in Nick's, Nick's
Yeah, well,
mailbox.
He was
This
supposed
is-
to provide it to me on the 10th, but there you go.
Mayor, you got a copy for me?
Yes, I do.
Here's, Dave, take that.
There's
Yeah.
2 sheets, Dave, 2 sheets.
Let me have it.
Yep. Yeah, the second sheet looks like.
I separated them all. So you have that one,
And
and
then-
then right next to it you have this one.
Okay, then I'll put this in this, and then I need one.
I just, if I can just jump in here.
Yes, you may.
I did have a chance to look at Mark's email very briefly.
Okay.
As I was, I think, watching the news and getting ready to.
I did not see it, unfortunately.
Here's mine.
And, I am concerned that some of these projections, especially for the, property, acquisition of property, just seem very high. And
Mhm.
again, I've raised this issue before, I just think that we're spending too much for legal services when you compare it to other cities, and,
Right.
I don't particularly advocate who does our legal services, but I think we really need to get in line.
Right.
Is that, this is, can I have one, so?
Yeah,
I'm getting
that's
one in
yours.
this.
No, there's plenty.
No, I know, but I'm putting this in.
Okay.
That
Put
way
one in
it's-
Jan's too, since she's not
Right.
She's not interested, I don't think.
Right.
Maybe I went to Jan.
Okay,
Do you have one for Jan?
yeah,
I did. Oh, yeah, I didn't put hers in there. I,
okay.
why not put hers in there too?
Okay, moving along. Dave asked me to go start looking at comparable sized cities and what their legal budgets were, which include all the items. In our budget this year, there's been a total request of about $415,000 if you consider the prosecution function also.
So if you separate prosecution, what is it, three?
It's $315.
They're all the different.
Still a lot.
Still, yes. So I went and started looking at and getting information about other cities of our comparable size, and I threw in Twinsburg because Twinsburg is close by and they're bigger, obviously. But
She's, yeah, she made a copy.
Yeah,
of it.
sure.
here we go. So we did some research. I've been gone through this to try to see what the median was. And for our size city, which is in the basically 11,000 range, the median law service cost is $66,537. And so and that does include prosecution function. Now, some of these cities like Powell have 127,000, which is slightly larger than Macedonia, but not much.
Powell's a pretty big, that's not a Columbus, that's a
Yeah, that's one.
very
of those.
growing area,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that's part of it.
Beechwood took the cake as the outlier of $500,000 they're spending. They are about 11,800 people. Seven Hills was a runner-up to them at about 320,000. We had some speculation on why that was. East Liverpool, a number of these others were in the 100,000 range. And then we had some that were really outliers on the low end. The low was Trenton, which is bigger than we are, and it has a $20,190 legal budget.
They use guns.
So I think what we think is that we need to relook at how we're doing this totally, because these costs are tremendously out of whack with what it ought to be for our size city. So we're looking at some different ways to do this. One would be to go to a salary system where we have somebody that is located here and we're paying X amount. I think the price range we're talking about is for us, for total prosecution and for regular law functions and so forth, we're talking in the range of $125,000 to $150,000. So we have to give some thought to it and how we need to do it and what we ought to do. But I wanted to raise that because this is the amount of money we're talking about, which is the total of 415, if you look at the whole thing, would be enough. If we cut that back to 150,000, we're talking $270,000 more money to put on the roads if we're not spending it on the legal department. So we really want to look at how we can structure this and what we can do. And I'm sorry that Jan took off before we talked about this, because that was something that I wanted to do with her here. But that being the case, I think we're just putting it on the table as we have to look at this quite seriously and figure out a different approach here. The one we've got for the coming year is extremely expensive. And was there something here in terms of, okay, I see what he's provided. No, there isn't. So we're not talking about cutting anything. He's talking about justifying this.
I thought he was talking about increasing.
Yeah, it looks like
No,
it.
there's no increase, this is just, what we have in there is good, and they're just explaining some of the things that justify what they make. And I'd like to bring up again that I had an in-house engineer, and the cost of that engineer wasn't even 25% of the total cost. So you can get somebody in here, it's like Twinsburg is at 155, but they farm everything out.
Well, yeah, but we still know what they pay for all these. Apparently, they're not as involved in litigation as we are, but, at least at this time. But,
Well, right now, we're involved with one case,
right, I know,
but we also have a railroad bridge that's falling apart,
right.
and we're gonna be faced with the decision there as far as we're gonna let this go on and somebody get killed or possibly the. Right now, I have pictures of them driving with illegal tankers over that bridge.
Illegal?
Illegal.
So
They
then,
can rupture very, very easily.
so are we, as I understand, we have to get somebody to agree with us that this is gonna fall down at this point.
Oh, we got them. There's a guy by the name of Bob Cummer
Uh-huh,
that's a national expert that works for
okay,
law firms throughout the country whenever there's a crash.
okay.
And he analyzes it, and he said this bridge is ready to go. ODOT said this bridge is ready to collapse.
Have they said that in writing?
Yes.
Okay, I wanna see that. Okay? Because they did not tell me that when I spoke to them, so I wanna know
The
what they.
fellow's name is Mike.
No, I wanted a letter from them saying, this is gonna collapse and we recommend you close that roadway. Cause that's what we need. We need something to show that this situation is,
All she has to do is walk on it.
well,
and look.
I'm not an engineer. I don't know if it's gonna collapse or not.
Well, you have engineers on staff
I know, but
that
they're
told
not
you it
experts.
will. Yes, they're structural engineers.
Okay, all right, let's see what ODOT says. You say you
Well,
have,
why aren't our engineers taken into account?
ODOT's the one who opened it.
ODOT's the
We
one.
weren't at the council meeting.
Well, ODOT, I wanna know what they've said officially to us.
ODOT opened what?
ODOT is the one who said the bridge had to open up the road there for us to go underneath.
No, they didn't.
I'm pretty sure I thought that's what you said.
Okay.
Well, I opened the road, how would
Oh, I
you
know
know?
that. Because you said it in your report. You set it up on, I
Okay.
thought you said something about
Oh,
ODOT
no, I
told you to
did
open
say-
the road.
No, I
I
said
think
that
so.
was, if you'll let me speak,
Mhm.
I said that one of the reasons the road is open is because it will be a designated detour. Because they're gonna close the intersection of South Freeway and Ledge. So that all of these reasons add up to opening the road.
Right.
But every single day, I'm scared to death somebody's gonna get killed there.
So did
And
you
it's
tell-
getting worse.
So
So-
then ODOT, is there another route they can take?
Well,
No,
the-
that's it.
ODOT, according to what Amir has said, the ODOT has said the bridge is dangerous and it's going to fall down. I wanna see the letter from them. I don't know if it's from the state of Ohio, ODOT.
Well, you
Columbus.
don't wanna hear the guy's name, but he was under the bridge with Norfolk Southern, me, all the people that were there from
You're-
Puco,
I know.
and he
You're-
said this bridge is dangerous, and his
Okay, so
name is
just
my
give us-
fault.
Give us the letter from ODOT. You said there was a letter that
Right.
agrees with that.
Well,
I
he
wanna-
actually told me what to do according to Ohio Revised Code,
Okay, good.
and I have all that.
Okay, well, let's,
Did he put something in writing? You had indicated that he put his opinion in writing.
I have to go back and look at the email because the important thing in there was the Ohio Revised Code that they are breaking and that I can find.
okay.
So we've been
Well,
doing
give us
that.
what you have, Don, so that, we can't do anything about this bridge, because we
I have a
can't
question on legal fees.
afford to replace it. And I'm
No,
not,
we're not gonna replace the bridge, but we have to force the railroad to replace it because they're going over our
I'm
road
getting you.
with illegal tankers.
Well, then, we should be able to stop that with the state of Ohio enforcing the law, okay?
Well,
that's the
we
case.
should be able to stop them with the FRA. Where is the FRA?
Well,
They haven't
I
even
don't know,
answered.
I don't know, I don't think we need our attorney to threaten them. We need to get the right process going where we stop them from doing something that is illegal, that you've said.
And there's certain attorneys that actually go after railroads.
Well, that's fine.
You know,
If
I'm
they'll
sure
go
we can
after them,
sell
then
it
Well,
out.
yeah, Elk and Elk, you want me
And
to
it won't
hire Elk?
cost-
and
No, I
Elk? Well,
don't.
that's who this guy works for.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Okay, anyway, I don't wanna get into that, we're gonna get distracted from the point here.
No,
but-
we have to keep that in mind, that that is something that is very important to this city. It's a third of our east-west right-of-ways. It's a very important road, and something is going to happen there very bad.
Okay, so I think that we've covered what we're going to cover tonight, and I'm going to adjourn the meeting now.
Before you do, may I just bring something up to you real quickly?
Yes.
I'll pass these out, you can pass them around, but there's some mistakes in mayor's court. Not mistakes, but
I mean, in the budget.
yeah.
Okay, I'll have a look, we'll get it addressed. Okay, I will check it out, make sure we get it fixed. Okay, we're about to adjourn, thank you very much, and we are adjourned. Okay,
Sylvia, I need one.
yes, I know, ma'am.
Education, oh, okay.
All right, this is minor stuff. We'll get it fixed,
Thank you.
okay?
Is there,
This is here.
anything, are there other issues in the budget, Mayor, that's going to?
Not for me, what's that?
All right, so, and the, seems like most of the directors are happy with the budget, right?
They were to be here if they had a problem, Dave, and if they weren't here, they're good.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Good, good, good.
This, public relations is a little bit of a misnomer.
Pretty big in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Yes, just so you realize, that's not like for public relations, good public relations, no, this is for the ticket.
Yeah, we understand.
We're good to go. Thank you very much. I will write a synopsis again like I did before, so everybody's got it.
All right, let's go home and watch the Can-Ams.
Appreciate it.
Communication. On my little truck.
So, she and Violet